Actually, can you also put that the thumbnail that I sent you and like on the actual live stream?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Cool, cool.
Some
Let me
fire
go. Let me
those
go. Actually,
thumbnails.
do that now. Then you're gonna go live within the next like what, like 10, 15 seconds or whatever.
Oh, I'm live right now.
All right, cool. Let me
Yeah,
go
yeah,
do that
yeah.
right now then.
Cool, cool, cool.
Dude, you're refining those thumbnail skills, man. Like each time they
Yeah,
just get better and better.
thanks, man.
Soon enough, we'll be having those clickbait thumbnails.
That's not
We'll
happening.
be graduating YouTube school.
Nah,
I mean,
that ain't.
yours are like what I envision like what a thumbnail should be. You know, you're not scummy. Like it just
Yeah,
like even in your own like um page,
yeah,
like your own YouTube page.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Oh, which by the way, how was like Macho and I talked a little about our weeks. Like how you've been good?
Yeah, man.
Been good week.
Yeah,
That's good. That's good.
actually, very good week.
Excellent, man. Yeah. Oh, true.
Yeah,
True. 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 Yeah.
that's
Congrats again.
yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, I haven't. I gotta talk to the other places and tell them that I'm leaving. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's tough, man. I gotta do it 3 times. It's fucked up.
Sheesh, man, you're a heartbreaker.
Yeah,
Good. Jada heartbreaker. And I mean, they'll. I'm pretty sure that they'll be really excited to hear about it.
oh yeah, they'll yeah, they'll be fine.
They'll be really proud. They'll be like, yeah, yeah, one for the industry. I raised a good boy.
Yeah, basically.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, after like 100 years, I finally posted an article the other day.
Oh really?
Um, yeah, concerning a manga I started because I've been starting a lot of different manga lately and continuing ones that I haven't continued in a while, and had fun, a little fun with that. I had to write it while it was like fresh in my mind, and I enjoyed it. I
Nice,
enjoyed it. It was fun.
nice.
Yeah. Other than that, it's been good week, good week. Not normal. I got an official offer for the job that I applied, so I start that next week with my practice.
Nice.
Um, gonna gonna see how that goes.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Uh,
I think I mean Macho said run to his computer. I think he like meant track and field, right? And then he's like on the way, like on the road, like running,
yeah.
like half an hour away.
Maybe, man. Maybe he
Sheesh.
like fucking twisted his ankle or something like that. Um,
Which, by the way, Jay, before we get into like video games, one quick question: did you finish Claymore?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I haven't finished it. I'm like really like starting it essentially. Would you say like it's worth the whole journey?
All right, we're good. It should. Well, you need to raise your volume just a tad if you can.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, will do.
for
Let's
sure.
go. Let's go.
All right. Um, I'm gonna tweet this out and then we can get started.
Yeah, I retweeted out on the official DSS
Okay, let
channel,
me know
so we're good there.
how it's gonna sound. How's it sounding?
Sound a lot more clear and a little
A
louder,
lot.
which is
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
actually.
And we good? We good?
yeah.
Yeah, I think you should be good there.
I should have told you that last week too, because yeah, you were a little bit quiet on the last podcast.
I mean, that's good for me because I talk like I'm MF. So
Nah.
for a lot of for listeners that are like, all right, here comes the rant in three, two, one, and he stopped. Okay, perfect. All right,
That's
good
what they're
enough.
here for, man. They're here
For
for the
the
rants.
for the ransom.
They're always here for the rants.
Always. I mean, that's essentially like why I look at highlights from a lot of podcasts because they just get in it. They go
Yeah.
hard.
I mean, that's why they're tuning in now, because they're about to hear me go off on Horizon Forbidden West.
No,
Hey,
man.
yo. Hey, yo.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
True.
But yeah, it is
No,
a
but go
topic
off.
to be had.
I want to listen.
It is a topic to be had. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So let's get started, guys. Welcome back to the 28th episode of the DualShock and Sense Podcast. I'm your host, Soul, the connoisseur of anime waifus. Joining me. Oh my god, man! This is how you know. This is how you know. This is how you know I am fucking tired, man. I've done this intro 28 goddamn times, and I can't even do it right now because of my mouth. I got that vodka tongue that Walt had a couple podcasts ago.
What tongue? Say what?
You heard me. You heard me loud and clear.
Oh man, just look at my lips, just hearing that.
Oh man.
Hey, yo.
Okay. Let me take a deep breath. Let me say that again.
Yeah, run it back.
Pause.
Hey, chill, man. That's how we're starting off the podcast. God damn.
Happy Saturday.
All right. Guys, welcome back to the 28th episode of the DualShock and Sense Podcast. I am your host, Soul, the connoisseur of anime waifus, joined as always by Macho. How you doing?
How's it going, everybody? It's the King of Kingdom Hearts and the Final Fantasy fanatic. It's been quite a tumultuous week, but on top of that, it was just a very busy week as well. So it was enough to keep me distracted from crazy stuff that happened earlier in the week. But other than that, man, it's been good. It's been good. As the Final Fantasy fanatic, I have to make a couple of declarations here. First off, if you have PS Now, or if you don't have PS Now, you can get all the Final Fantasy games in the next couple months on PS Now. Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, no, not 11, 12, all will be on PS Now. So I hereby decree you to immediately download PS Now and go do that. Next. Final Fantasy 14 is having his letter from the producer, where they're probably going to have like job actions and show some new trailers. Get excited, get pumped for that. Really excited. And Walt, get on that Final Fantasy 14, man. That's the reason why I'm bringing it up. Get back in Final Fantasy 14.
Hey,
we'll get you back into the fold.
You're right. Gotta get back in it.
Yeah, man. We need to get you back into this cult here, Final Fantasy 14.
Oh man.
The House of Final Fantasy.
Exactly. And I think that's it from the announcements of Final Fantasy Fanatic. This has been the DualShock and Sense Podcast. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Yeah, man, that made my job a lot easier. All right, man. And we got Walt. How you doing, man?
What's going on, y'all? It is the newly decreed Manga Maniac.
I love it.
Doing great this week. Gonna start out by saying my recommendation for this week: Platinum End by the creator of Death Note. It's nothing to blow your socks off. Not a revolutionary storytelling by any means, but it's a nice twist on the survival game genre, more of the battle royale approach at a survival game. Go check it out. Go check out my newly posted article at Level 1 Gaming. But doing good, y'all. It's been an interesting week announcement wise. And personally, it's been pretty fruitful, pretty nice. School, new jobs, and life. Just it good. It's a feel good week. But
Love to see it.
And I'm glad that I sided with one side of this podcast in terms of a certain thing that might have happened.
Oh man, we're starting already, man.
I'm glad.
God damn.
I'm glad we were right.
Yes, sir.
God damn. I feel like goddamn Cersei Lannister when they were making her do the walk of shame, man. God
Oh, man, we
damn.
need a soundbite for that, like shame.
Yeah.
We need that. Oh man, but hey, Soul he admitted that he's happy. He's happy to have been wrong.
Hey, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there.
He's like, all right, man, but you gotta get the smoke.
I know. Hey, man, I know. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Good.
Yeah, we'll
Good,
get
man.
there.
Good, because I got my grill out and everything. I'm ready to smoke you ass.
Oh man,
We did good.
it's like that. Oh man, I gotta stall a little bit longer, man.
We vibing.
Guys, we would greatly appreciate if you guys, like the podcast and consider subscribing.
Yes, sir.
That would help us out a lot. I found an interesting little castle. Guys, we're gonna we got a great show planned for you guys. A lot of great topics. Obviously, we're gonna talk about our predictions for the PlayStation Showcase happening next week. Death Stranding 2, possibly, and of course the Horizon Forbidden West fiasco. So stay tuned for all of that. But first, we're gonna talk about the games that we have been playing, and you know what? I think I am going to kick things off with guys. I survived Mr. X, man. I survived Mr. X.
Hey.
I've yet to see your video, actually. I saw the first couple minutes. And I was like, "Oh, it's an hour long. I gotta pop some popcorn for this one."
Gotta get cozy for that, yeah.
Yeah, watch me fucking struggle in that video, man. It made me realize, man, I'm not good at that game. But yeah, it was something. That's for sure. But no, man, like RE2 is even though I'm like terrified out of my mind, shout out to the police station, man. That like what a location that is. Like I was saying it in that video that like yeah, even though I had to constantly look at my map because like I wanted to be precise about every little movement I made, right? I didn't want to waste a single movement with Mr. X, constantly being on my ass. So that's why I needed to make sure where I was going at all times. But with the police station being set up the way it is, I feel like you can get to a point with every location being distinct and memorable. You could easily get to a point where you don't need the map, and you could get to a point where you know the police station inside and out like the back of your hand, right? Because every location is that memorable. You know where the library is, you know where the STARS office is, you know where the art room is, you know where the balcony is, all of that stuff. You can easily get to a point where you're that familiar with the location. And to me, that's so cool because I had multiple moments, not in just that, my latest play session, but throughout my entirety of playing that game where I open a new door and it loops back around, or it's a shortcut back into the main hall, or something along those lines, and you kind of have that moment in your head. You're like, oh, okay, so that's where I am now. It's very much like, it's almost like a I say better, but you know what I mean, like a more improved version of like the shortcuts in From Software games. Like you always have that moment of like, oh man, like I really need a bonfire. I'm running low on health. I have all these souls with me, and then like right in the nick of time, you hit a shortcut that takes you all the way back to the bonfire, and you have like that sigh of relief. And like I kind of feel the same way with the police station here, where like, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting way too down the rabbit hole, and then just in the nick of time I find a save room, or I unlock some door that does loop back to the main hall, and then I'm just like, okay, now I feel like at ease. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out the police station, man, because it's impractical, it's improbable, because like what kind of police station has like a goddamn like art room, or it has like all these puzzles and stuff like that, but at the same time it's just so cool to be in there.
That's a very video game thing, right? Like you play all these video games where sometimes they have these puzzles that you question yourself of like, how do they access this? Like, even in Resident Evil 8, there are certain keys that you get that it's like, this is so inconvenient. That unless you're a paranormal being, like unless you're Mother Miranda that can just teleport from place to place, Like you can't really walk like freely, and it's odd. And to your point, to the police station, it's so well designed to the point where there's a trophy where you have to beat the game in like 12,000 steps or less or something like that.
Oh shit.
And it's like only taking 12,000 steps. And that's impressive because that speaks volumes to like how they design like this police station. Like they put some thought into it. Because everything, it's like you said, in the nick of time, you just find the right safe room. It's like, maybe they thought about that. You know, maybe they were like, oh, by this point, he'll be struggling. You know?
Yeah, that's one of the best things about Resident Evil games that I love so much is that they take your natural like sanctuary dwellings, right? Like the police station, the mansion being like your home, right? Or even your city, where sometimes you feel safe because it's the city you grew up in, being Raccoon City, and they just take it and completely annihilate what you think about your sanctuaries, right? Like as far as a police station, I should be safe in this police station, right? You know, because. Yeah, absolutely not. I know you're in the worst place you possibly can be, right? Or even in the mansion. There's a secret laboratory where all these monsters are being made and these experimentations, and you're caught in the middle of it. You know, so shout out to Resident Evil just for that alone. Especially hitting it off with Resident Evil 8 Village 2. That's it brings it up another notch.
Yeah, and I guess spoilers, but I mean the game is like over 2 years old now. But actually, two things really quick. I was not expecting to play as Ada. I like sincerely did not know about that.
Surprise!
Yeah, that was really cool. That was a really really cool moment for that to happen. It was very reminiscent of like Carlos taking over for Jill when she got infected in RE3, and yeah, that was really cool. And then the main thing I wanted to talk about was God, like, do you guys remember that Kendo scene when Leon and Ada meet Kendo?
Can't say actually.
I think that's it. I think that's his name. It's the gun shop owner, and like his daughter is like half zombie and like half like human.
Oh God, why can't I remember this?
Man.
Anyway,
you mentioned a gun owner, and there's a dude in the parking lot, like in an underground area where you meet, and he's one of the victims that you can play as in the DLC. But I don't know if that's the same person that you're talking about.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know if it's the same person, but yeah. So with this guy, I see Gene in the chat. But with this guy, yeah, so you actually meet him in RE3 as well. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it because it was surprisingly like it was surprisingly like a really emotional moment. Like in my limited knowledge of Resident Evil, right? Like I've only played through 4, 5, 3 remake, and maybe the original remake when I was a kid.
Like of 1.
Yeah. So like, again, with my limited knowledge, like I don't remember the stories being, like nothing has ever made me tear up is what I'm trying to say. But like with that moment, it was so it really hit me because it's just something that up to this point I've never really expected from this franchise. And it's like this gun shop owner, like he's coming out to like protect his store because Leon and Ada, he doesn't know them when they're inside like snooping around his store, and that happens, and like his daughter walks out of like this locked room that he's like staying in, and you just see her in the doorway. Obviously something is wrong with her, and you get a closer look, and like literally half of her face, like she has that that clear, like her left eye is very clearly like zombified or whatever, and then the other half of her face is like completely human. So she's like her turning or whatever is happening like really really gradually, or she's like right in the middle of it, and like her mind is very clearly like wavering between one side and the next, like within this same scene. And she's just like repeating like daddy like over and over again, but at the same time she's like very softly making that like zombie growl under her breath, and it was just like really really messed up, man. And obviously Ada wants to kill her, and the gun shop owner is like no, like that's my daughter, like how could you ask me to do that? And then eventually the scene ends with him taking his daughter back inside the room, and the door closes and you hear a gunshot. And I don't know, it was a really, really, like, again, like I didn't see it coming, especially from this franchise, and it really, really hit me, man. Like I was on the edge of my seat, just completely silent. And it hit even more because, again, you see him in Resident Evil 3 and you don't really have much context as to, okay, why is he locking himself in this room? Like, who is he? Like, Jill obviously knows this guy. But it was just so weird, like, yeah, playing RE3 first and meeting him and talking to him a little bit, and then RE2 essentially witnessing, like, the end of his story. And yeah, it was just like the standout scene in RE2 for me. It was a really, really good scene. And again, the RE engine being as good as it is, it's absolutely sells the performances by that specific actor, man. Like his face is just like completely like in anguish. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like that scene really, really worked. I'm
That's
shocked.
the power of those remakes, man. It's the power of these remakes.
Yeah, man, for sure.
They get to touch upon like certain things that the originals could never do or probably couldn't do at the time, So
yeah, for sure. Like, cause I was watching some gameplay of the original, and obviously something like this wasn't in the original, and it's just always fascinating to see, okay, like their mindset, like what do they change, what do they cut, what do they add specifically. Yeah, it's really cool because like I was watching a lot of the old gameplay, and like, man, like literally like a lot of those hallways and locations are like one to one, like exactly the same, which is so cool that you can recognize them in the remake. But at the same time, there's a bunch of puzzles in the old game that's not in RE2 remake. So yeah, it's always interesting to see like what they add and what they cut. And yeah,
and to that observation you made of that scene, and man, it sucks that I don't remember it word per word, but it sounds like a scene that I definitely enjoyed, but it's that aspect, and that I don't know if it's a trope or whatever, but that kind of approach at like a person's like coping or like delusions in a video game, TV show, what have you, like. It's specifically not just with zombies, but with a loved one. That you describe that scene, and that very much reminds me of the first Red Dead Redemption. And there's this side quest where this man is like, "Oh, like my anniversary is coming up, and I need you to find all these flowers for my wife." And when you give him all of like the bouquet that you formed from his flowers,
I remember that.
You go into the house, and his wife is just a corpse. And she's sitting on a rocking chair, and he's like, "Oh, here you go, my beloved." And he's like, "She's tired," or like, "Don't talk." And you're like, "Oh my god!" Like that kind of like storytelling where the delusions are just extreme with the victim, in regards to a loved one. They always hit. It doesn't matter like in what medium, because you just like, convince themselves of. No, everything is still fine. He's still here. No, yeah. He's not dead. It's tough, man. And I'm glad that you're enjoying it too.
Yeah. Same here. Yeah, it's also just again it speaks to the power of like these remakes, which is why I'm just so infatuated with Final Fantasy VII Remake and what it did. Hey. Not just being just like a remake, but like how much further it takes it, and how it just completely like 100% completely enhanced what the first game did.
Yeah, that's a good point, because yeah, I would imagine it's much the same for you with 7 Remake, just like seeing the differences between the original game and the remake, but also seeing like, oh shit, like I recognize this location, and things like that.
100%, even just moments, So like, for me, like what Resident Evil Remake or Resident Evil 2 Remake did was just incredible on all feats. It's like, again, it's like a textbook perfect remake in my eyes.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it.
But yeah, to conclude that, what I've been playing, yeah, it was basically a lot of Resident Evil 2. It feels good to actually make some progress, man, that I'm actually outside of the police station. Hey. I actually committed to it, and then to be honest,
see, I knew you could do it.
To be honest, man, I think I hyped myself up a little bit too much. with being scared of Mr. X, man. Because yeah, he's
That's how
terrifying.
I told you. I told you, man.
Because yeah, he's terrifying, and I was cognizant of like his footsteps, literally, like every like minute of that hour that I played. But I'm surprisingly like, or I guess I should say, like I'm surprised at the fact that like how short the encounter was within the police station. Like for whatever reason, I felt like it would be a lot longer, and I guess that's up to the player, right? Because I'm sure once you actually get Mr. X, to start chasing you around, that like you could probably spend like an additional like 2 hours just like running around like a chicken with its head off, trying to escape him and whatnot. But like if you're actually like efficient, you could probably get out of the police station like 30 minutes after he starts chasing you around.
What's so scary about Mr. X for me? Obviously, that first encounter, you're like, "Oh my god, what the hell is this? Who is this? I need to run." It doesn't die, and you just keep running, and you can't do anything. Like if you never have heard of Mr. X, and you just try to shoot him and kill him, you're gonna have a bad time. For me, it's when you forget about him, and you're gonna have those moments.
Yeah.
For me, I had moments where I'm super in the zone with this puzzle, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'm figuring this out. Oh, kill the zombie. Oh, there's a liquor here, and you just start hearing boom, 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 and you're like, wait, oh shit! You just like you see this man just like coming at you like you talking shit, and it's like that is the scariest. That is the scariest part of that game because you forget. You won't have him in mind all the time, and that's definitely not the last time you saw him. That man. That thing, the idea of a tyrant will never die in fucking Resident Evil. Never. They always try to perfect that MF.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. I mean,
They already did with Lady Dimitrescu. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. But yeah, that's it for me. Walt, what have you been playing?
Ooh, man. Well, been diving into more Catherine here and there. Having a lot of fun with that one.
Did you choose the right one? Did you choose the right one?
Amen. The questions that I'm asked, sometimes I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
I believe in this, but I know that this answer will give me this person. So, and I'm in that ever loop of like, should I be myself or should I try to get C Catherine?
Yeah, exactly. I knew it. I knew your horny ass couldn't handle it.
Man.
Bro, hey man, K Catherine, hey man, I know she's trying to look for the betterment of me and all, but man, there's only so much. Hey, here's the thing.
Oh man, there's only so much for of you to go around. That's what you're saying?
No, there's only so much patience, and because here's the thing, man. She's expecting too much from a man that is not offering much, and that's Vincent. Vincent is like the lowest bar you
This
have.
man's standing
like,
on his square. He's.
Kate Catherine's like, hey yo, you need to be square. Vincent's like, nah. Like man,
I love it.
Come on, man. And here's the thing, in my mind, because I've read a lot, about how C Catherine, K Catherine, like that whole thing plays out. But I'm very interested in Rin's story and like how she plays out and all that. Because I'm still interested in that first scene, and I don't know. I'm not too deep into lore wise, because again, I'm playing it on hard, so like some parts I take longer than I should. But I'm taking my time. I'm loving it. Hey man, let's see. We'll see who I end up with. I haven't played it non-stop because of work and applying and school and shit. But I'm having a blast. I knew I was gonna like it. Atlas hasn't failed me yet. Not yet. I decided to not re-download, but hook up again my PS Vita because I hadn't charged it in a couple of days, and I'm continuing Persona 1. And that's a game that, although I didn't play it back in the day.
God bless.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, dude. I don't have the patience for that.
Although I didn't play it back in the day, there's certain parts of it that feel nostalgic, or like there's a charm to it that, again, you need patience for that game. Because it is very, very, dated. You feel it just with the walking around and like the with Persona. I'm not used to the random encounters part of it. I'm used to seeing the shadows and being like, I want to fight you. I don't want to fight you. You know, Final Fantasy. Like I know what I'm getting myself into when I play like Final Fantasy X or Dragon Quest, like one of the old ones. But when I play Persona, I don't expect to encounter a mother trucker every 3 seconds. And that's what's happening with Persona 1. Because you essentially have the whole city to explore. And you have like this little indicator of yourself on the map. And that's how you essentially move from place to place. Every 5 steps, there's just, boom, an encounter. And it's not to say that these encounters are not fun. It's that the layout of the buttons, the way that you fight, there's no... What makes Persona 5 so fun to play, like one of the things of its combat, is the fact that while you're playing, like, with certain people in your party, you can baton pass and do certain moves and certain combos and, like, certain, like, weaknesses. In this case, it's like, you might die if you get hit, like, 3 times. Because... it's so hard. For some reason, Persona 1 is like, oh, this is Shin Megami Tensei before we actually made Persona easier. For some reason, the game just treats it like it's a I'm not gonna say Dark Souls, but just hard game. I was gonna say Dark Souls game, but it's not.
It's Persona 1, the Dark Souls.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. Damn it.
Oh, man. I'd say Shin Megami Tensei definitely is, but like Persona 1 definitely. I think it's a Dark Souls 1 situation where it's the controls and just the approach to gameplay that makes it hard. Not that the game itself is hard. But I'm having fun. The music, it's Shoji Meguro, so it's...
Wait, are you sure?
Amazing. I think so, man. Or is it the first director they had?
I think it's the first director. 3? Yeah, I think 3 is when he jumped on. Don't quote me on that, but I mean,
like, you might be right, because honestly, it sounds very Shoji Meguro at times, but other times it's like, this is very, like, a bit too, like, 90s or 80s, which he doesn't necessarily do all the time. But I'm having a great time. It's not as dynamic as the newer Personas. You know, collecting Personas is not as engaging as it usually is now. But I don't think it's a game that I might complete. I'm just having a blast to see how far I can get, because I do need patience, again. Other than that, man, I haven't been playing that much else. Not in the new. The next new game that I'm waiting for, which I forget the day that's coming out, but it's Tales of Arise.
It's next week, bro. It's next week.
Hey, boy, yo. Like
I got a countdown, man. I'm so excited for that next week.
Yes, sir. That's one of the games. Because here's the thing, man. I acknowledge what I like in video games, and many times those games are hundreds of hours long. So right now, I'm taking my time with what games I decide to play. Because honestly, my backlog was getting ridiculous. And I mean ridiculous. Like, just Catherine itself, I know it's a puzzle game, but it's a puzzle game that is actually, like, it's challenging. And
oh, like, no, it's long. It's a long game. You're gonna be with Catherine for... You're gonna be with Catherine for... Oh, with either Catherine. For quite a bit, man.
I'll be with all of them, man. Hey, I'll be with all 3. I don't know if there's a Persona 5 situation where you can end up with, like an ending scene with all 3.
You whore.
I love it how it's low key. God damn, whore.
Yeah.
Hey man, Joker's a whore. Joker's also depending on who you play.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. And what about you, Macho? What do you feel about Tales of Arise? Like, in terms of like do you see, like, are you certain that you're gonna like complete like the heck out of it, or are you fearful of it being like coming like shooting and like coming up short, or not?
No, I have a lot of confidence in Tales of Arise, just from And again, you can't really judge a game based by its trailers. I mean, that too harshly, right? It's really when you get it in like in your hands and you actually play it, and you really don't feel that magic until you do. And I felt that magic playing the demo by itself. So
Okay. So
I have full confidence.
Okay, so the feelings I'm feeling, I'm not gonna deny them. I'm gonna keep feeling as confident as I am because I've just been betrayed by games, harsh. a couple times,
again,
a couple times is enough.
If the game falls short, don't come back on my ass and be like, "Yo, it was your fault, Macho." No, it's just like there's very few demos that I've played for games where you just instantly feel like, "Oh, I'm gonna love this thing." And I felt that way for BioShock. I felt that way for the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo when it gave you like the first bombing mission, and I felt that with Tales of Arise. So I'm confident. That's why I wouldn't be capping for Tales of Arise this hard if I wasn't feeling what it was doing.
Nice.
For sure. Talk about. I think Macho. Did Macho go over? No. You haven't talked about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
man.
that ad he made in the beginning, I confused with him like talking about the game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Your time's up. Your time's up, man. Let's move on. Yeah, use your time. Use your time fucking advertising for Final Fantasy, man. You gotta use your time wisely.
Time well spent, if you ask me, good sir.
But go ahead, man. Go ahead. Take us home.
Yeah. So I mean, I actually have some wrapping thoughts on Psychonauts 2. Okay. And I feel like it's gonna be a little bit divided here on what I say, really. So I'll just kind of jump into what I've been playing off and on throughout the week. So that's been Greatest Attorney and Final Fantasy 14. Just jumping back in between those, really enjoying the experiences there, and almost finishing up at Greatest Attorney 1. It's a very long game. And then just mostly doing my thing in Final Fantasy 14, get ready for Endwalker in November. But the main show here, the main contender for what the game I've been playing throughout the weekend was Psychonauts 2. And I'll just cut it short and sweet for people that have been wondering, whether to play this game. If you have Game Pass, obviously download it and play it. It's a great game. It's definitely going to be one of the best games of the year, like as a contender for like in the Game Awards and stuff like that. If you have PlayStation and PC, or if you have PC, you can download on Game Pass. You can do that way too. But if you have PlayStation, the game is currently at full price, $60. I will say wait for a sale. And the reason why that I'm gonna say that is mostly because so for Psychonauts 2, what it does right, it does it in spades as far as the platforming, the action, the quirky characters are super memorable and fun. And it's just an original story that we haven't really seen before, and it's not like it's in its themes of like family or sacrifice, loss, like all those elements and themes we've seen in games before, but like to do it like in this way with Psychonauts 2 is really heartwarming and invigorating to see like that this kind of story it can also exist in these old school platformers that we loved so much back then. So I will give it its marks and its praise for a great story and just fun platforming, just being a great game overall. The reason why I'll say it's a wait for a sale for PlayStation users, or even if you just want to buy it, is mostly because I think it's really due to the fact that I played the first game. And the charm of Psychonauts is really like its universe and its characters. And that magic is not, it doesn't waver, it just feels a little less than when you first see it in the first time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's right.
And from what I'm seeing online for people that like really in love with Psychonauts 2, right? The people who are saying that it's Game of the Year contender, it's one of the best games they played this year. I'm kind of tilting my head. I'm like, did you play any more? Did you play any more games this year? Because to me, like I feel like Psychonauts 2, while it does a lot of things right, it doesn't do things better than other games I played this year. Like It Takes Two or Resident Evil Village. And again, we're talking about different games, but if we're talking about games of the year contenders, this is what it's going to be compared to, and that's why I'm comparing these games. And again, I feel like it lost a little bit of that charm that the first one gave me, where I was just like, wow, this feels so different, and I'm definitely into this universe, and I really like the characters. And here it's just more of a great thing, but it's also more of the same. And that's where I feel like I'm not as in love with the game as other people are that haven't played the first one. And that's what I actually noticed too, where like the people are saying that are really like in love with this game just didn't play the first game, which makes sense, you know, because their feelings on the Psychonauts 2 is the same feelings I had before Psychonauts 1 when I first played it, like years ago.
Yeah.
So that's more or less kind of like my wrapping thoughts on it. I feel like the story's really good. If you have a chance to play it, play it. It's really great. It's I think it's one definitely to add to your list as far as games to play from 2021. And I don't think it's game of the year stuff, but I really do believe that it's gonna be like in talks of like being a really inventive story or really creative art direction and art style. But other than that, its gameplay and even its graphics aren't really game of the year screamers to me.
Yeah.
Then that just for me that just sounds like it's because again, and in this podcast we don't have like those standards that a lot of people have, where they expect S tier like prime cut like video games all the time. But not saying that it's not game of the year. Actually, I feel like it's a praise because you're thinking of it like that highly. You know what I mean? Like you're comparing it to games that will have game of the year like contention, but in this case, it's like it's a good game. It's a solid game that you should. It's one of those instances where like the full price, it's not it's wait but it's not because it's a bad game. It's just that in your case, because it comparing it to the first one, it doesn't hold up. Like, and by no means it doesn't sound like you're saying anything negative of it. Is what I mean. It sounds like it's getting its fair praise. If that
Okay,
makes any
good,
sense.
good. That's what I was hoping for, because
Yeah.
because I don't want to come off as negative in this game, because like I said, it's not a bad game. It's just not
Exactly.
as good as any other games I played this year, or even in
course.
my eyes, not as great as not as good as
And
the
again,
first one.
and if people, to our listeners, if they know anything about your taste, you're very much what your top category at times, it's JRPGs and what Final Fantasy and all this. So for you to say that what you're saying, people should take it as like, oh wow, like this is not even his like go-to, and he's like praising it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just clarifying in case someone sees it as like negative, because there will be individuals sometimes that are like, he talked shit about it. And it's like, no, he didn't.
No, yeah, no, that's absolutely not the case. Yeah, it's just again, the I'm seeing like the online chatters of a lot of people that are praising it are the ones that didn't play the first one. So like immediately, of course, you're gonna be enamored by the charm and the graphic, not the graphics, but like just the overall art style and the metaphysical themes of everything, of how like entering someone's mind and what that looks like and how it's depicted. Like all that stuff is amazing and it's great and it does in spades and two. But it's also something that it does in one just as good, if not better, depending on what you like the most. And for me, I like the first one a lot because it was my introduction to it. Our first game or first array into a series is often the most the most standout.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's fair.
So that's really where I'm coming at it from. Where like the second one didn't hit as much because I already been really been exposed to what it does and what it does really well. But
Yeah.
but yeah,
That's
man,
the
I
danger
put
with
17
sequels.
hours into this game, so you're gonna get your fill regardless if you
Hey,
download
wow,
Game
that's
Pass
good.
Nice.
or if you even pick it up at full price or even on sale. So
That's
Nice.
solid. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
And man,
Uh,
that's a danger that you always will get with sequels. It's always good.
Yeah, for sure. We got Mahmood in the chat. Welcome, man. Yeah, Mahmood's reveal was glowing, man. He really enjoyed the game. Yeah, just
Good,
like
man.
a lot of people, man.
Hey man, and here's the thing: when like, and I need to emphasize these things because a lot of times, other not saying Mamu, but like people will like hear a take, and because if I let's say I don't enjoy a game as much as another person, I get more excited that someone could enjoy it to the extent that I couldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I really love seeing like what Psychonauts is getting praised for online. Even if I don't agree with the whole Game of the Year stuff, like I just see this amount of love for it. It makes me really happy to know that there's still love for this space and that
again,
there's room for more.
That's kind of like what we were talking about. I think last week is that like seeing how much praise this game is getting and how much praise Ratchet was getting. I hope this acts as, and I guess even like Crash before that. That we hope that this kind of does like a revitalization to the genre as a whole, and we start seeing more of these types of games start to pop up, because like these platformers are fucking awesome, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
I seriously hope that the Xbox studios like really greenlights a Psychonauts 3. Like I'll definitely be looking forward to that.
Yeah. Let's get into some of these topics. Should we? You know what? Let's let's jump into the Horizon stuff.
Good.
Let's start off with that first.
Get in there, Macho.
Actually, yeah, Macho, can go ahead and take the reins. Like, walk us through what exactly. What exactly happened with this whole PS4 to PS5 upgrade path?
So the strap in your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna be a bumpy ride. Horizon Forbidden West, man. So I forgot what day it was actually happening on because it's such a long week, but. Basically, what they did, they had a countdown. Guerrilla Games and PlayStation had their countdown for Horizon Forbidden West pre-order dates, which is always kind of like a tilting head kind of moment because you're like, "Wow, you have a countdown for pre-order dates? That's kind of odd." but either way, what should have been a slam dunk, an easy layup, a free throw shot, a goal without a goalie, was a missed opportunity for PlayStation here. So what was announced was that Horizon Forbidden West is getting 3 separate editions that it's releasing. So one of them is called the Regala Edition, which all these are going to come with a bunch of physical goodies, that such as a steelbook case is coming with the Tremator Tusk, I think it's called, which is basically this giant statue that Herman Holtz on Twitter actually showed off, and it looks awesome. It also comes with a bunch of digital goodies as well, like a digital soundtrack, comic book, some outfits for Aloy that look badass, and that's gonna hit you at $260, so $259.99 for this like super enhanced edition. And this one also comes with the digital copies of PS4 and PS5 versions. So that big expensive edition does not come with a physical copy, but for some reason it packages in a steelbook case.
Ooh, I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that for sure.
Okay, so I can understand why, because like ordering 2 different versions of PS4 and the PS5 version to like for this big like collector's edition it'd probably be a lot of work and a big pain in the ass. But regardless, it's so weird just offering a steelbook case without an actual physical game.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. But yeah, so that comes with the Regala Edition. There's a whole bunch of more stuff. It's all over the internet if you guys want to go check it out. The next one is it's just a collector's edition, so it comes with the Tremator Tusk statue, with a little Aloy statue, and some of the stuff from the Regala Edition is just a little less in price, and the actual robot mammoth looks different. He's a little less, he's like trimmed down. He's not like as painted as he is in like the gameplay trailer. That'll go for $200, and again comes with a digital version of the game. Does not come with a physical version, and it does come with a physical steelbook case, which that's beside the point. Horizon Forbidden West Special Edition, that costs you $80, and that actually comes with a physical version of the game. The $80 version is for PS5, $70 for PS4, and that gives you a steelbook case and the art book. And just a regular standard edition, so just the game itself on PS5 and PS4, with the pricing being $70 for PS5 and PS4 for $60. And you get a nice pre-order outfit. You get the Nora Legacy outfit and Legacy Spear, which actually looks really cool. we talked before how Aloy kind of has some funky outfits. Horizon Zero Dawn. I think they rectified that in Forbidden West.
Oh, we know the funky outfits you had her running around in.
Relax. It's something she found in those caves, man. I didn't do nothing.
Oh, okay. Guilty.
Yeah, so I mean, amid all like this super exciting news, everybody's like pre-ordering the Regala edition and the special edition, whatever, going to Best Buy and PS Direct, right? There's a little blurb in all this in the PlayStation blog about Horizon Forbidden West that there is no upgrade path if you buy the PS4 version. I also forgot to left out there's a digital deluxe edition for Horizon Forbidden West that's $80 as well. And that ties into what I was saying before, because there is no upgrade path. So if you buy this game on PS4 for $60 and you end up getting a PS5 down the line sometime in 2022, you had to re-buy Horizon Forbidden West for either $70 or buy the digital deluxe edition on PS4 for $80 that includes the PS5 version.
What the fuck?
Oh, okay.
So in other words, real quick, Jay, just let
go
this
ahead,
final
go ahead.
point here. In other words, if you Sony and PlayStation is just, they're fumbling the bag on messaging once again, and on this upgrade fiasco that for some reason they can't get their heads on straight. It's either it's free, it's $10, or it's not at all.
That's where I wanted to talk about, was just the consistency. It's just non-existent, man. It's all over the place. Like, why is Sackboy and Miles Morales the way they are, and then you have director's cut for Ghost of Tsushima costing what, $10 I think.
Yes.
And then you have what's its name, Death Stranding costing what it does, and then you have this, right? It just feels like it's all over the place, in comparison to admittedly Xbox, where theirs is it's essentially the same for every one of their titles. So I'm baffled by. I mean, for me, the thing that I'm most just like scratching my head about is like on Thursday you guys announced your showcase, right? It's supposed to be a day of celebration, right? It's supposed to be a day of nothing but good news, right? Like, everyone is pumped, everyone is so hyped because we've been waiting for this showcase to be announced for months, right? And then it's like you're literally like needlessly shooting yourself in the foot, or like raining on your own parade, by also announcing this Horizon, PS4 to PS5, pre-order news on the same day. I'm like, did nobody see? Did no one have the foresight to know that this would definitely cause the backlash that it would? Like, who, like, behind the scenes, like who's leading this, right? Like, you had to have known that this would have caused the backlash that it would have, right? I'm just baffled by the fact that like they really thought like, okay, yeah, let's press send tweet for the pre-order stuff, at the same time that we announce our showcase, and yep, everyone's gonna be so happy about the pre-order stuff, right? There's gonna be no issues about it, right? I'm just like like, was that their mindset, that no one would have a problem with this? Like, I'm really shocked as to the timing of this, right? Because again, it just really feels like you're raining on your own parade. Like, that day was supposed to be nothing but good news and good vibes, and everyone's supposed to be hyped, and then that comes out at the same day, and it's just like, yeah, it's just really weird to me. I don't understand why you would do that.
And I don't know how I don't want to say that they saw this as not a bad thing to do, as simply like the right move, as they'll be excited that there's so many options.
That's the concerning thing. Yeah. That they thought it was that they probably thought it was a good thing, right? That everyone's gonna be so excited about this. That's the concern.
Yeah, they thought it was probably a great deal. You're getting a PS4 and PS5 digital deluxe version for $80. Yeah. No, no. That's. I'm sorry. That's a hard no, man.
It ain't it. And the Steelbook thing, I could be completely insane, but the Steelbook thing, I feel like this is not the first time we see a company do that. I feel like there's been another game.
Definitely not.
There's been other games where you get like you have to pay for the Steelbook, but you get no game. And that, here's the thing, I get it if it's like a cheaper version and it's like it includes the Steelbook and it's like, oh, for those that didn't get it like when pre-ordered, here's your chance to get the Steelbook. Like in my case, when we got it, I mean, I got it for free because I knew the employee, but I got a Steelbook for Final Fantasy VII because they just had some lying around. But I could have very much paid, like, I don't know, like $20, $30 for like, oh, just get the Steelbook. And I'm like, okay, I'll get the Steelbook because I collect Steelbooks at times. But this option just sounds, there's so many tone deaf things about what they're doing. Like, it's so experimental. And y'all said, like, the consistency with Sony, it's such an experimental, like, year in terms of, like, pricing and upgrades and how they're managing each thing. And just, you can literally compare Tsushima, Death Stranding, Last of Us, a remake, FF remake, and this one. And they all have such different approaches to how they're handling multi-generational like platform upgrades. It's bizarre. I don't even know what's going on like with the next game.
It's experiments that feel like it's too stupid to do. That's the problem with it. And it's when it comes to this Horizon Forbidden West thing, like again, we're all PS5 owners here, so it's not like we're fake virtue signaling or anything like that, or that like honestly, buy the game where you want, that's your decision of what you want to do with that, and of course we're going to be there for Horizon Forbidden West because we all love the series and we've been excited for this game for a long time. But that doesn't mean we can't call out Sony at the same time and say like, "Hey, this is messed up." Like what about people that actually can't afford to get a PS5 right now, or they want to get one down the line, they're just waiting for more games to come that they're interested in. Horizon Forbidden West could be that one game, or maybe God of War, whatever case may be. Yeah. And it just sweetens the deal for them that when they get a PS5, they know they have a PS5 version of their favorite game they played on PS4 waiting for them.
Yeah, and to like what Walt was saying earlier, to me this is another like my like second biggest thing is that like to me the most egregious thing that as someone who loves collector's editions, right? Like I have The Last of Us Part 2 collector's edition.
Some nice ones.
God of War, Horizon, like I have my fair share of these. Also like special editions with like the steel cases. Like I have an Uncharted 4 one, Persona 5 and Royal, Neo 2. Like I have a bunch of these like special and collector's editions. To me, the most egregious thing that you can do to a collector, right, is include, people spend like what, over $200 on these things. They expect, the big statue and I don't know, like stickers and in-game stuff and a bunch of physical and art book, a bunch of physical things, and for you to not include the actual disc to actually do a digital version of the game to a collector, to someone who wants everything to be physical, to me is the most egregious thing. This is the same thing that happened with Fallout 76, where their collector's edition, they in the goddamn steel case, they put like a paper disc in the case, and that's where the code was.
That's so fucked up.
It's incredibly fucked up, man. And obviously, I get it, right? These companies want you to be getting the digital versions of these games, but still, man, if I'm paying $200, I expect the physical version of a game to be in there. That to me, like I wanted, just like I got the collector's edition for the original Horizon, I wanted to get the collector's edition for this one as well. Now I'm not getting it, because it doesn't have
the same boat, man.
Yeah, it doesn't have the physical version of the game. I'm not getting it. I'm just gonna get the steelbook version that has the disc inside. you know, that's a bummer to me, like, right? Like that makes
Honestly, man,
like, that makes no sense
dude,
to me,
it
right? Because
doesn't.
like
It doesn't.
I'm telling Sony, like, I was willing to give you the 200 and whatever dollars to get that version of your game, and now because, you know, this one little thing that you're not doing, now I'm not giving you all that money, right? So like, you
You
know,
know, I'm in
like,
the same boat. I'm
yeah,
in the same boat, man. I was absolutely just gonna to go for like whatever edition because I had in the back of my mind I was like, man, if they do it like a statue on that mammoth, I want to
Ooh,
get that. I want to get that. That sounds real cool. I want that. But then I saw that it only comes with a digital edition of the game. I'm like, ooh, not anymore.
man.
I
Honestly,
don't want
man,
that.
either give me options or just stick to one formula. Because this, like, I don't know, it give me the option of choosing the collector's edition, digital collectors, or the physical collectors. But don't just, like, don't make me buy the collectors and then have to buy the game separately if I want it physical. Because that's the thing.
That's something
And
I would have
that's,
done for Final Fantasy if
yeah.
that happened. I'm not gonna lie.
And the thing is, a lot of people will go, no, but like digital is more like no. People don't understand. In my case, and in our cases, I really, really cherish and love a physical copy of my game, especially if it's a game I absolutely adore. And it's a feeling and a love that not a lot of people will understand, especially people that grew up on like exclusively digital games, because it's a feeling that's like unlike any other. Now, at least now I am noticing that it's like it's a different feeling from like whatever the heck else everyone else is feeling, and for me to not be able to like go to like I don't know like Amazon, Best Buy, whatever, like, or my nearest GameStop and be like, give me a collector's edition or pre-order my collector's edition, and be able to take that copy of my game inside of that big box or whatever they're gonna do, and know that it's all in there. It's a different. I'm confused. I am feeling conflicted. Why is this a thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Why is this a thing?
And I don't know. I like it's just so weird because again, I can kind of see why they did it, even though it's like it's a big slap in the face of collectors, in my opinion. But I can see why at the same time if they're looking at the metrics and seeing a lot of people are focusing on digital because Final Fantasy 14 did the exact same thing with Endwalker, where they have a collector's box, right? But it doesn't even come with a digital version of the game. It just comes like with all the goodies. And the reason why they're doing that is because of the fact that they said in the live stream, they were saying there's not a lot of people that get the physical version of these games, so we're just gonna send them out digitally because most people that have Final Fantasy 14 have it digitally. So
Yeah.
that's
I
where
get
that
it.
honesty came in. I was like, okay, I get it, but you know,
Yeah,
I'll
but
just get the
still,
goodies
like,
and I'll get the digital version of the game. That's fine.
but still, I feel like I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for them to go. They're not buying as many physical, so we'll ship less physical than we usually do. So you expend less resources like shipping them out. There's games that will only have a Y amount of physical copies, like limited run games. They can only produce so many physical copies of a certain game. Like, just do that with these major companies, like Gorilla in this case, like with Sony. Like, just make, I don't know, like, oh, we're gonna make 1,000 digital collector's edition, but there's gonna be only 100 or 200 physical. Like, that sounds much better than no, it's just digital. Or maybe I am completely wrong, and the charts and the stats that they have indicate otherwise. Because that's the thing. This unfortunately, all these decisions are made because of all these spreadsheets and all this data that they have in front of them, and they make those
That's
decisions.
that's another thing I wanted to point out, man. Is like don't give the developers shit about this, right?
At
This is
all,
totally out of
absolutely,
Gorilla's hands, right? So like
absolutely.
yeah, so like I see people like tagging both Gorilla
Uh,
and PlayStation and being like oh, like
sheesh.
you guys messed up, like you guys need to fix this and blah blah blah. I bet you like Gorilla Studio heads right now are like blowing up Sony's phone like, hey, we told you this wouldn't work, that this wouldn't fly by people. So yeah, like
Yeah, it's the same thing for what developers said they. Oh, it was Housemarque where they were like, we didn't even know that Sony was gonna price our game at $70.
exactly. Yeah,
You know,
these
so-
things, yeah, these things are out of their hands.
So their communication is not only bad with us, but with their developers as well, which we've talked about and we've seen this year how Sony seems like they're mute, like they have to hand sign. That's why people don't get it, because they're hand signing as they're on the phone and they're like, I can't hear you. What are you saying? No, I'm talking. You just don't see me. I don't know.
No, it's just again, it speaks to like the whole broader issue of PlayStation's communication and just really a lot of like worries and concerns falling on deaf ears, it seems, and like they want to be not trendsetters so bad that they're just looking bad doing it. You know, they're pulling off Nintendo stuff where it's like, sure, there's a handful of publishers that are not offering free upgrades for their games, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and the 2K games and stuff like that. But why not just be the outlier along with your competition that is offering free upgrades for games? Like, I get it, because greed, money, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
They're in there to make money.
The huge.
The huge, right?
Like-
Yeah, they're there to make money, but at the same time, man, it's like, come on, man, it's like stop being pain in the asses about this. Be consistent.
You mentioned how they're trying to be Nintendo, and it's fascinating when you see companies try to imitate other companies, and it's one in an off chance. Sometimes it works with certain like pro-consumer tactics, but when it comes to these, because again, we phrase it with like Nintendo's gonna Nintendo, yeah, but like Nintendo built a reputation around all these decisions that people are just, unfortunately, a lot of them just roll with it because that's just how they roll, and which is not the right thing. Again, call them out when you see it, because I feel like if you love a company, or not a company, if you love a product of a company, and you criticize the company, that speaks more to how much you love it. Again, constructive criticism, because you want them to do better. And that speaks more than, not saying anything because you're just rolling with the punches. That just goes to show that you don't really listen or care about what's going on,
You're
and that's fine.
We call that over here. We call that a corporate slave.
Yes, sir. and again, when it comes to the decisions that they make, you mentioned, again, Nintendo, and it reminds me of how DC tried to Avengers their franchise by doing Justice League, and it just blew in their face. It just didn't work. Marvel spent all these years building this cast and these movies with the MCU, this universe, that took them 10 years. DC's over here like, oh, we can do that in like a few years. No, bro. Like, certain things just try to stick to your lane and do and play to your strengths. And this for me, this ain't the strength. This ain't a strength. For a lot of people, it might be the best decision because it's, oh yeah, that's how it should be, digital. But I don't. It doesn't bode well. It doesn't sound. Doesn't sound. It didn't.
And Mahmoud's got a good point, man. Yeah.
What do you say?
Oh no, the only thing that he fanboys for is his family, himself, and his wallet, and that's very true.
Hey man,
hell yeah,
that's
man.
how it
Hell
should
yeah.
be. That's how it should be. And honestly,
I love you, Mahmoud, man. He's such a good dude.
And the thing, I still can't get over the fact, and we'll put a pin on this conversation so
Yes,
we can move on. But yeah, again, I just can't. Like I had that one meme of like the guy taking out his credit card and like slamming it on the table like over and over and over again. like that was me. That was me for the theoretical collector's edition of this game, and because of one stupid decision, now you're like preventing me from like giving you over $200, right? It's hilarious to me how that can backfire on a company. Like, yeah, I'm still giving you money, but I'm not giving you twice as much as what you could possibly be getting from me. So
yeah, I know. I'm saving quite a bit of money, I would say right now.
Yeah. Honestly, thank you, Sony. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
they're worried.
for
See,
sure.
they care.
Crazy. But I mean, just to quickly, just to like kind of end off on that is that people were posting around that Jim Ryan did say, or at least alluded to, that Horizon Forbidden West was gonna get a free upgrade for PS4 to PS5. So. And I just wanted to mention that because people were throwing that around, and I think it's important to note it. And yeah, I should definitely honor it. So hopefully, Herman Hulse.
I wonder what changed.
Hopefully they do something. I mean, the fact that they went back on, the whole "We Believe in Generations" shit. You know, and this would not be a problem of Horizon Forbidden West, which is a PS5 only game.
Yeah, true.
Which is what they touted, which they touted a year ago. So
very true.
It's up to them to rectify their mistakes.
Again, I don't have any issues with the whole PS4 and PS5 game. I know a lot of people do, but yeah, I agree that if this was solely PS5, actually, yeah, I can't wait for the point that we do get only PS5 games, because then this whole nonsense can stop. Because right now it just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, let's move on, man, because we have yet to get into our big topic. So yeah, once again,
I just like to shout out Mahmoud's point again. I love it, and that's a wholesome comment, and that's such a core belief in my life as well, and it should be in everyone's. I gotta shout out it again. Only fanboy for your wall and your family. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, once again, I want to remind you guys, thanks for everyone who's watching, man. We really appreciate it. Drop a like. Yeah, drop a like, and consider subscribing to the channel, man. If you haven't already, we greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, we got free T-shirts, by the way, too. So
no, we do not. No, we do not.
Right, Jay. You're gonna buy those? You said you're gonna get those?
Nah, I said nothing. I said nothing of the sort, man. y'all ain't getting anything.
Got that merch.
But yeah, man, let's get into the PlayStation Showcase, man. They announced this on Thursday. It's going to be coming on the 12th, right? I believe.
The what, Jay?
What do you the showcase?
The what? The what are we getting?
All right. So for context, I've been saying for God damn, man. I'm fighting a giant chicken, man. He killed one of my party members. Jesus Christ. I'm like,
chicken fights back, man. Chicken fights back.
This is insane. Anyway. Where was I? Okay, yeah. For context, man. For the longest time, I think after E3, I started beating the drum that PlayStation wasn't going to have a showcase this year. Gene, it's Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. I talk about it a lot last podcast. It's a really, really good game. Anyway, so yeah, I've been beating the drum that I don't think PlayStation's going to have a showcase. Because I was thinking that they could easily save God of War and Horizon to like their dedicated state of plays, or they could show them during the Video Game Awards or Gamescom, etc. Call of Duty had their event, and so that led me to believe, okay, so they're not Call of Duty, since they already went. Usually Sony has that at their own showcase, right? So that takes that game off the board. Final Fantasy 16, that was up in the air, so I was like, and I saw a quote that we might not get an update on the game this year. So
correct.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, so that takes Final Fantasy off the board. Deathloop is around the corner. Did we really see that again? Ghost of Tsushima's director's cut, right? That was announced in a random tweet. Like, why wouldn't you save that for a showcase? The Iki expansion. So I was like, okay, that you take that off the board, right? Abandon had their real-time trailer thing like in August, and that wasn't in a showcase. So that also led me to believe, okay, you take that off the board. What's possibly left for this showcase? But apparently there's a lot. So go ahead, guys. Get your rocks off, man. I was wrong, man. I take this L, man.
Let me just say, you were beating the drum, but you was offbeat, my guy. You was offbeat. Hey, go back to drumline. Learn a couple lessons from Nick Cannon. You was offbeat, son. I got you. This is a win, baby. It's a win for me. And it's a win for Walt.
But like I said, man, I've never been more happy to be wrong about something.
Yeah, no, seriously. No, it was a fun jab. I saw it and I immediately got a nice grin on my face. I was like, oh man, this Saturday's gonna be lit. It's exciting, man, because it's not a state of play, right? It's not like a mini showcase. It's not an indie showcase. It's a PlayStation showcase.
Yeah.
So people are gonna expect it to be along the lines of the PS5 reveal event or the PS5 showcase, where they had Miles Morales there. Then they showed off Horizon Forbidden West, the God of War teaser, the whole 9 yards, right? And what got people really excited for 2021 and for the launch of PS5. So I'm expecting the same kind of hype around here, and man, I'm really really pumped to see what they do. But I'm also expecting a couple of things too.
Yeah, yeah. Like we know the usual suspects are going to be there, right? We I mean, I think it's safe to assume that the usual suspects are going to be there, as in Horizon and God of War. But yeah, it's the things that, like, because Herman in his tweet, said specifically he's excited, to show off what PlayStation Studios have been up to. That's, to me, that's really really exciting to hear. But yeah, we are going to frame this as a little, predictions kind of style of a little segment. Each of us have prepared a total of 5 predictions of things that we are hoping to see at this showcase that we think might be there. So yeah, and then I think when do we do immediately the next podcast, right? Yeah, we'll be able to know whether or not our predictions are right or not.
Correct.
We'll tally up those points and see who the winner is, who got the most predictions correct. But yeah, man, basically anything goes. Like, you guys think, a studio acquisition will happen at this show? Because I remember in the past, I think State of Plays, they've said, in blog posts, like, hey, don't expect anything quote unquote like business related to happen within this. But for this showcase, they specifically said, no PSVR 2 stuff. So the fact that they didn't point out business related stuff, like, that could open the door, at least after the show, for a studio acquisition announcement. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens. But yeah, so like I just explained, we are going to rattle off, like, how do you guys want to do this? Do we go kind of like we did with our 10 favorite games of all time, and go one, then you do one, and then Walt does one? Or do we just
Yeah,
do...
I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, and then I'm gonna say this really quick. I don't want to hear God of War or Horizon. something that
Yeah,
simple.
I kept those off of my list, actually.
Yeah.
Nothing too mainstream on mine. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, man, let's get. You know what? Okay, I'll kick things off. I'll start.
Number 1.
Okay, so I'm going to say that we get the announcement of the Resident Evil 4 remake. I think Capcom has a team working on that, I think they have, that they have, like, separate teams working on these things. So obviously, I would imagine that the main team is, the team that did RE7, and then they jumped to RE8, and then I believe that there is a separate team that did, the 2 and 3 remakes. So yeah, I think we do get a little teaser as to whatever that team is working on next. And it's not gonna be Resident Evil 4 coming to a new platform. It's not gonna be coming to Amazon Luna. Nah, this is RE4 remake.
Interesting. You think we just get a teaser? Do you think we get, like, a nice little gameplay snippet? Because usually Capcom's been doing really well with their trailers, for reveal trailers.
I agree. I think, I do think it's gonna be a gameplay. Well, not like a gameplay, demonstration, but more so just like an announcement trailer. Like, we see, obviously there's gonna be snippets of gameplay within the trailer, but it's gonna be very much in the vein of
Like
RE2 or Village
scripted.
when we first saw it.
Okay.
Dude, I have it. Okay, listen to me. This is the pitch. This is what's gonna happen. Okay, you're gonna cut first person. You're gonna be running. You hear the You just hear someone like very like running out of breath, and you see this person go into a closet, and outside you just hear "Moriras vivir," and you're like, wait, is there someone outside? Like, and you just hear gunshots, boom, 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 and for a moment you see the door open, and it's Leon taking the hand because you've been from the perspective of Ashley this whole time, and it's like once she takes her hand, it's like let's go, cuts there, and then it says just the date, and then whatever BS logo they'll do, like in Village, where they did Village and then they put the RE and then the 8.
Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, with the 4 coming in front of the Resident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You love it.
So dumb.
Oh man, it's gonna throw us off. We're not gonna know it's Resident Evil until they announce it's Resident Evil.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be.
But yeah, that's my. Oh man, dude, look at this battle arena here. But yeah, that's my first prediction. Who's next?
I'll go. So, unless I don't think Macho. If Macho's gonna do it or not, then we'll take it now. I put it because this has been my thing since forever. By talking about hope, I'm hoping that it's announced. And I won't go too much into it because it's pretty obvious, and we know what it entails. But we're gonna get an announcement on a remaster of, drumroll, Jak and Daxter. No, I'm kidding. Bloodborne. We're gonna get a Bloodborne. But here's the thing. I'm anticipating either a just pure like, I don't know, like $30-$40 like upgrade, like it just revamps the whole game. Like if you own the game, you just have to upgrade it, or it's gonna be like you're gonna have your physical edition and digital edition of a I'm assuming $60 remaster of Bloodborne, and it's just an upgraded, just 60 FPS, and the visuals they're so upgraded that it looks. Not like a different game, but it looks like this game just came out last year. That's how good it's gonna look. But one of the predictions, and that's the one thing that's kept me going about hoping that there's a PS showcase. It will be a Bloodborne announcement, and it will be one of the best, most beautiful remasters there ever was. That's wishful thinking of it being one of the best things we've ever seen, but there will be a Bloodborne related announcement, and it'll be.
But who's doing it though? Who's doing this remaster?
Oh, but here's the thing. You know who's doing it? I have no idea. that part I leave to you when you tell your number one right now, and then you can think about who's going to do it, because in my mind, I do not want to set my expectations, or like not certain like I have one in mind, but like to a specific company, because then I'm doing what I always fight against, and that is setting expectations, and I do not want that. If there's something I want to avoid with Bloodborne, it's setting expectations, because that does not deserve that. It deserves to be received in its full surprise glory.
Okay.
Although I don't want to get messed up in the head and like
that's
worst, like possible.
That's fair. All right. Macho, what about you, man?
All right, so trying to think. I got two here that could be. Yeah, you know what? We'll just go with this one. So one of the predictions I actually have down is that we're gonna see Spider-Man. But not in the way that you expect. So, you get a nice trailer of a city skyline of New York, and people are getting excited. Spider-Man, God. You hear the flips, you hear the punches, but it's not Insomniac Spider-Man. It's in fact Crystal Dynamics Spider-Man from Marvel's Avengers.
Boo.
We get the trailer and a fall November 2021 release date for Marvel's Avengers Spider-Man, coming exclusively to the PlayStation consoles.
Oh man.
I think this is definitely gonna be there. Spider-Man's been dormant for quite some time on the Marvel's Avengers, War for Wakanda just came out. Crystal Dynamics is saying, yeah, don't worry, we're gonna have another roadmap soon. So I think Spider-Man being in this showcase is definitely a thing, especially with the hype from No Way Home and Miles Morales and the other Spider-Man games from Insomniac. Yeah, I definitely think this is gonna be it's gonna show up in some way here.
Interesting. God, I hope not. But, also,
I swear I thought Macho was gonna like go crazy and like say like Web of Shadows or something. Like I expected like just the most bizarre.
I think it's gonna be a super disappointing trailer of Spider-Man, but for Marvel's Avengers.
Also, we should point out this was something that I was not concerned about, but I was like, I was hoping it wasn't gonna happen. So like I feel like we're gonna get another look at Deathloop. I feel like this isn't a prediction, by the way. Totally, man, totally. That's like their big fall exclusive. It's coming out soon, so I bet you they'll want to remind people again. But I was kind of concerned that we would get the final trailer for Death Stranding director's cut at this showcase. I am so glad that it's happening a day before. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, because that's like an 8-minute trailer or something.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
so.
Yeah.
By the way, the Bloodborne review, it's gonna be in game. Like it's gonna be an in-game reveal. There will be no HUD or anything, and the HUD will be revealed as the character like progresses. Like takes damage, boom, health bar appears. Takes damage, and then rushes in, takes some damage back, and you're like jar. It's like, wait, is this blood? Why does it look like? Wait, and you're like, it's setting in, and you're fighting a beast. Maybe a cleric, maybe it's Lawrence. I don't know. Maybe they integrated the DLC into the main game. No, it's gonna be out of left field. Oh, Bloodborne.
All right. My second prediction, man.
Number 2.
So so we know purely by I don't know, like hirings and rumblings and stuff like that multiple Sony teams are kind of branched off into like 2 teams now, right? Like we know Guerrilla, we've seen Santa Monica essentially announced through a tweet that they have an unannounced project that they're working on as well. I don't think we see any of those two, specifically those projects, getting announced until God of War and Horizon's out the door, right? Because I feel like it's weird to announce like, hey, like here's Santa Monica's second project, or hey, here's Guerrilla, they're working on SOCOM, while Horizon and God of War isn't even out the door yet. I feel like that would be kind of weird, but I do think that we will finally get to see the game that Sony London is working on. We know that they've been hiring for a PS5 title with some multiplayer integration within. We know that Sony trademarked the quote unquote the Soho engine, which all the way back in the PS2, the team that made the Getaway games, their engine was called Soho. So I think the game that Sony London is making is a Getaway revival. I'm probably completely wrong, but I do think that we get to see what Sony
go
London.
Big or go home.
Yeah, I do think we get to see what Sony London is working on.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see whatever that is, but I think it's time, man, because I think we. Gene, you I see you in the chat. I think you might have to remind me, when did Blood and Truth come out? Was that 2019? I think it was 2019, but either way, it's been a couple years since they've released Blood and Truth, so it's been a while, man. I think it's time to see, whatever. Yeah, you think it was 20? Yeah, I think it might have been 2018. It's 2018 or 2019, but regardless, it's been a couple years since they have, put something out. So, okay, it was May 2019. Yeah, so it's been over 2 years. So I think it's time to see their next project for sure. But yeah, that's my second prediction. Walt, what about you?
I gotta add because I'm looking at my notes and I forgot to mention that alongside that first prediction I mentioned, it's gonna be PS5 upgrade and at the same time it's gonna be announced for PC. Like it's gonna be Bloodborne on PC.
His face
And we're
still on
gonna
Bloodborne.
Right? God damn.
Move on to your
Okay.
second prediction, Walt.
The second prediction is one of those seven. I don't know how many announcements it was, but Atlas mentioned that they had a bunch of announcements set for the next year and the next. And I think that for this PlayStation Showcase, we're gonna get not only an announcement, but we're gonna get a glimpse, a tease, a amuse bouche of Persona 6.
Yes, sir.
And it's gonna be so low key. It's gonna be like Shin Megami Tensei 5 when they announced it. It was literally just the cinematic and like just the title, but we're gonna get it. Whether that be with the new cast, with the new protagonist, with the new setting, maybe a voiceover of someone's like saying I don't know like a Ryuji type scenario like oh we go to this school and we've always been against this and you just hear the voiceover of a person and it's just gonna be a little tease of Persona 6. Maybe it's not called Persona 6. Maybe it's a completely different title. Maybe they go wild and they come up with like with the Village, with Resident Evil Village, and they just title it completely different. But we're gonna get a feel of the style, the vibes, just like with Persona 5, the acid jazz kind of vibes and music. We're gonna get a little glimpse of the soundtrack with a sample that they're gonna play throughout the teaser. But that is my second, and that is my very that's me saying, please, come on, bring it home, bring me that Persona 6.
That would be
It's
yeah.
been long enough.
That would be pretty cool. That was also one of something I was thinking of too.
Yeah,
But it makes
Oh yeah, man.
it makes sense because yeah, TGS is like Gene said in the chat. It's a few weeks after this, so yeah, it
Yes,
can
sir.
definitely be
Yes,
possible.
sir. It's gonna and if that's the case, it might not be even in English. Who
Yeah.
knows?
I mean, again, Persona 5 OG came out in 2016 in Japan, and then Royal came out in 2019 in Japan. So,
Correct.
I mean, that team, I mean, specifically with Royal, that team has been sort of dormant for a little bit. Surely after Persona 5 came out in 2016, they have been, those ideas have been like kind of brewing in their head for what Persona 6 could possibly look like. So, and then of course the 25th anniversary thing, with the teases of the all the like acrylic posters of all the protagonists in the franchise, and then there's one acrylic poster that's been left blank. Obviously leading a lot of people to believe that okay, that's where the Persona 6 protagonist is going to be.
And a lot of speculations have been in regards to the color, and because apparently that little area that was left out has the color white as around it. They're anticipating like a more biblical, heavenly themed Persona game. Like usually you get your personas that are demons and you get also angels, but this one will be more heavenly focused.
Yeah, that would be cool. Macho,
yeah,
what
for
about you, man?
My second prediction is not a game announcement. It's not a studio announcement. It is showcasing the new redesigned PS5. The
Wow.
PS5 Slim.
Already?
Oh,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, that don't make no
Again,
sense.
it's
but I can't even find the original.
these bold predictions, they're supposed to not make sense.
True.
And PlayStation's been acting all funky all year. So I'm just gonna say they're gonna show their PS5 Slim, just basically just a slimmer version of the console that they've been pushing out for the past year. And yeah, I think that we're gonna see this new redesign as far as when it comes to just being a little smaller, a little compact. But it's only gonna be no, I'm not gonna say that. Maybe I don't know. I was gonna say it's only going to be digital, but it can go either way at this point.
Ooh,
So
don't do that.
But yeah, I think they're gonna be super bold. They're gonna show up. They're show up looking like they're going to the party with the meanest swag and be like, "Yo, new PS5 Slim."
Yikes.
Interesting, interesting.
That's tight. That's a cool prediction.
All right, man. So my third prediction.
Mm.
This is probably the one I'm hoping for the most, but I I think we're going to see one classic. I guess I'm just gonna say it straight up. I think we get the Sly Cooper tease.
Okay, I see. I was gonna say that too,
You
but
read
I
one of
was
mine.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't put it down because I figured one of you guys would have that prediction.
No, and the
Yeah.
thing is, I didn't put Sly. I just put Revival. Yeah, like, oh man,
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah, I know there's been recent rumblings for it, but I really think that I think Herman is a man of taste. I think he knows what he's doing. I'm totally reading too much into it, but the Rift Gun from or the Rhino from Rift Apart, man. There's a reason that Jack and Sly were in it, man. There's a reason. There's a reason, man. But yeah, I think and Gene, you're gonna have to tell me what Jaffe was teasing because I didn't hear about it. But yeah, man, I think it's time, man. I think we are definitely PlayStation is going to be, I think, more than ever, their portfolio. I mean, I'm just looking at my bookcase right now, and the portfolio is like already, I feel like as diverse as it's ever been, right? Like I'm looking at my bookcase right now, and I'm looking at Demon Souls, Sackboy, Miles Morales, Returnal, and Ratchet, and all of those games are completely different from the next. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward for or looking. I think there will definitely be a game of that ilk shown at this showcase that is more in line with Ratchet, or just a revival of a PS2 classic, specifically Slide, that will diversify the portfolio even more. But yeah, and Gene is saying that Jaffe is apparently saying that that there's going to be a title shown, a AAA first party game that's going to make people go nuts at this showcase.
I
So
feel like I feel like I might have what they're talking about
all right.
in my prediction.
All right. Go ahead. Say it. What is it?
What was yours first though? What was
No,
your
go.
third
Let's
one?
rotate. Yeah, go you and then I go. Go for it.
Okay, so what I have written down here is that 2K will make an appearance at the showcase with the new developers that have already been announced, mind you, for the next BioShock game.
Yeah.
BioShock 4 makes an official appearance and announcement, and we're going to get a late 2022 release window.
And this time it's gonna be a female protagonist.
And not only that, but it's going to be a first on PlayStation title.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So
exclusive.
PlayStation is going to get a timed exclusive first on PlayStation kind of title with BioShock 4, the highly anticipated sequel to the entire BioShock series.
Do you think is this a sequel to Infinite or 2?
Dude, if
I
Infinite had the sequel, that'd be bizarre.
No, it's Infinite's more has like an epilogue, I would say, more than anything with the BRUSC DLC. But the thing is, like with BioShock, the way it set itself up, it really can just go into an infinite amount of games, pun intended, with its concept. So yeah, I think the next one is going to make an appearance there with a nice trailer, a little teaser. Obviously, you're going to have like Andrew Ryan's lines being said just to kind of get everybody amped up, and it's going to show the new environment, whether it be on land, in the air, or in the sea. So I'm excited. I'm hoping that makes a showcase. But yeah, that's one of my predictions.
All right.
Hey, man.
I can see it happening, man. Walt, what about you, man?
Dude, honestly, I and this is because I have a bit more faith on this title than a lot of people do, but I'm guessing I'm predicting we're gonna get a deeper glimpse at what an oxymoron, a deeper look at Ghostwire Tokyo, and we're gonna
Boo.
get like proper. Hey man, all these ain't popular, but you know it's possible. Like the Deathloop situation where like people were skeptical at first, but this time it's like it's gonna solidify Ghostwire Tokyo as like, oh, this might be an actual like good title to wait for. Because let's be honest, the original trailer we got, it didn't do it that much justice.
That's yeah.
But this time around,
That's what I was going at. Not necessarily at your prediction, but yeah, like I did
no, I
not.
mean,
I was not in love with that announcement trailer.
no, and I agree. And the thing is, in my case, if someone said like, "Oh, we're gonna see Ghostwire in this showcase," in my mind, it's like I'm worried, and I welcome the boo because it's like, what are they just gonna show like something completely different from what we saw? Because what we saw, it didn't really grab my attention as much, but the premise itself, like, there's potential.
Yeah,
in
that's the one thing. I understand the trailer not being like really like stand out, but yeah, the concept itself I was really into.
Yeah,
I want to see
I'm
more
really
from that.
into like the whole, you know, like it's kind of like you're an exorcist and like you're fighting spirits, and it it, it reminded me so much of like of anime like Shaman King and Blue Exorcist and whatnot, and I like the premise. Uh, if anything, we're getting like an extensive, not full on like 20 minute, but we're gonna get like a better glimpse at what the gameplay is gonna look like and what it offers. Like it's like core mechanics and whatnot. But yeah, that that's one that I'm not too faithful on. I'm not fighting too much for that one because that's just me hoping that they reinvigorate my interest in the game. Because honestly, you know, the premise can be amazing, but there are games that have completely just bombed from a great premise and just awful gameplay. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
And we're rotating, so now it's Jay's turn, right?
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So my fourth prediction. So obviously we got a few announcements peppered in throughout the year of the studios that PlayStation is partnering up with to bring out some titles underneath the PlayStation Studios banner. I think we see one of them here in this showcase, specifically the Firewalk Studios title. That's a game that we know Herman has played all the way. I think he said 2018, or this game has existed since 2018. So they've been working on it for a while. I think we see this game before the Jade Raymond game or the Deviation game. So yeah, I think Firewalk Studios, their multiplayer game, whatever it is more you know, it's in like progress wise, it's just further along than the other two studios that we know about that PlayStation's working on. And I'm going to I'm going to ignore I'm going to ignore if they said it was a new IP or not. They probably did say it was a new IP. I'm like 90% sure that they did, but you know what? Fuck it. This is this is my prediction show. So I'm going to say that Firewalk Studios is working on Mag, man. That's what it
Oh
is.
hell no! Just kick this man out the podcast.
Hey. Mag was fire, man. I'm not gonna let anyone tell me otherwise, man. That game was cool.
Are you still playing Destruction All Stars?
Oh man. Come on, man.
You
I haven't
Reaver?
played that in a long time, man. So don't hey man, I don't deserve that slander. But yeah, I think it's Mag. We're gonna see Mag come back from Firewalk
Interesting.
Studios, man.
Interesting.
You know,
So completely like it's a full from the ground, like just from scratch game.
yeah, I guess. But
Yeah,
it still retains, you know,
the charm.
the team the team based sort of gameplay. I think 256 players. per match.
Sheesh.
The really intricate level design. I think it retains all of that. And yeah, man, Mag was ahead of its time, man. Don't let people tell you otherwise.
Man, you really think Herman Hulst went up to Firewalk Studio and said, "Yo, make Mag"?
Listen, 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 listen.
He
I
came
think
in.
I
He
think
put the big pamphlet on the table. All right, guys, listen. Get the hell out. Get the hell out.
no, he said. Let me tell you about the good word of Mag. But no, listen. I think it is 100% unlikely for this to happen. This isn't
Yeah.
happening. This isn't happening at all. But in my
Just
heart of
having
hearts, I want this
Oh,
to
man.
happen. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, let me make that clear. This isn't happening, but I want it to. But yeah, that's my that's my prediction.
We're in fourth, right? Macho, your fourth prediction.
My fourth prediction is that we finally, and I mean finally, get a first look at Factions 2, with
Yes,
more to
sir.
come on Outbreak Day, and a potential release in summer 2022 with a beta in spring 2022.
Okay.
For Factions 2, the
Hey.
multiplayer standalone. I think what Naughty Dog's doing with the rush of hires that they want, I think that's more or less for um, the life of the game more than the actual game itself.
Okay.
So I think that we're finally gonna look at Factions 2 and Outbreak Days. We're gonna get like a nice gameplay breakdown of how this is actually going to work, and when it comes to pricing too, because I think a lot of people have a lot of questions based on if this is gonna be a free like add-on to Last of Us Part 2, which I highly doubt,
No,
or it's
they
gonna.
they said it's a standalone game. It's its own thing.
There you go then. Okay, then yeah,
Yeah.
it's a standalone game, so it's gonna be whatever price it's gonna be.
Yep.
But yeah, so I think we're gonna get a look at Factions 2 and finally, man, because I don't know about you, but I'm aching just for like a good multiplayer,
Pause,
vigorous Last of Us Part 2, man. I'm
We're,
telling you,
we're
man,
getting in that.
we're getting in that, Jay. We're gonna get you introduced to Factions 2. You're gonna see the
Yes,
sir.
godliness of what Factions 1 was.
I'm down.
Yes, sir. Fireflies versus scavengers. Although they might do scars as well. I don't know. Let's see.
Man, it's that the Factions 1 is the only multiplayer I played where I got I got both the trophies on PS3 and PS4. That's how much I loved Factions, man.
Love it.
So
I only got
good.
one faction done. The other one, halfway. It was like transitioning from generation, like PS3 to PS4, and I like everything just changed. Like
Oh no! I was all about it. I got both those trophies, man. That required you to do a ton of hours into the multiplayer, but so much fun.
I love it. Love it. Love to hear
Nice,
it,
nice.
dude. And honestly, you mentioned that I didn't think about how if they announce that like they just add like the directors, like they're gonna add like their director's cut like behind it. It's like factions also Last of Us director's cut. Here you go. It's like no, I don't want it, but you're getting it. It's like here you go.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
All right, my fourth prediction. Man, tough one. But as this is something that people are always, I feel like this man it's in rumors 100% of the time, and people are always, and this is not even a prediction that's like, oh, it's a new prediction. No, it's like I'm turning the rumor into a prediction, and there's going to be an announcement of not Death Stranding. It's not going to be Death Stranding related, but a Kojima project, and it's going to be their reveal of of an old game that's going to be brought into next gen glory, or simply a tease to a project, and it's not going to have a name. It's going to be like with Forspoken, where it was Project Athia. No, it's going to be just a project something, and it's going to be Kojima related. And it's going to, it might be Metal Gear, might be Sony, it might be Silent Hill, it might be something completely different. But Kojima's in there. We're gonna hear about Kojima. He gotta be a playlist. You can download it. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's not a game. But yeah, that's my fourth prediction. How about you, Jay?
Okay, so my fifth prediction.
Final.
Okay, so for the last trailer or whatever that we get at the show, um, we we hear like footsteps. I want you guys to close your eyes. I want you guys to imagine this. All right, the the lights dim. In the theoretical theater that we're in. The screen goes black. You see the words Sony Interactive Entertainment presents.
Oh, I see it.
and
Too
then
real.
and then you see that dumb little generic ass logo, Blue Box Studios.
Oh, fuck.
I want to open my eyes. Get me out of here.
and then you see Hassan Kahraman pop up on screen.
With his white sweater. What sweater?
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't show up. He doesn't show up. But yeah, you see Sony Interactive Entertainment presents. You hear footsteps on creaky wooden floor boards, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the camera just focuses on the footsteps, and then
Do
eventually,
we see the feet?
yeah, the camera focuses on the footsteps, and then
Okay.
the camera pulls out and reveals a character as he exits a building. He kind of, the immediate environment is just like drenched in fog, and he kind of like
Ooh.
massages the stubble on his beard, looks around, he sighs, and then he keeps walking forward down a street that there's a bunch of like abandoned cars that's decorating the street, and then
Okay.
he
I've played this demo before.
and then the camera pans out a little bit. You still see the character just walking down the street, but to his right, you see a sign that says, "Welcome to Silent Hill." The screen fades to
man.
black. The screen fades to black, and then you see the word, the title reveal. You see abandoned, and then slowly abandoned moves down just a little bit, and on top of it, it says Silent Hill, abandoned. And that's it. That's how the show's gonna end.
This dude, that is you added a layer to the PT ending that I would very much like welcome. Like if it's just blue box and like just abandoned and there's nothing, I'm like okay. But dude, I went from pause to hold up. Wait a minute.
No, that's
You got my attention.
that's the thing too. That like I don't know. Like I think Blue Box is a support studio, and then I think we'll get a true answer as to like who this developer is. Right. I don't know who. I don't think. I'm not gonna say it's
I don't know,
Kojima
maybe-
Productions, but yeah, I think we get an answer as to who
definitely
is
could be.
working on this.
But yeah, maybe that actor, the guy you see, maybe he's a person that is in a show where dead people walk. I don't know. Maybe it's a different person.
Hey, maybe.
Um,
But
Hey.
yeah, that's like my pie in the sky, like prediction or whatever. But I do think for a fact we will get a because we have to. I think we will get a in-depth look into Abandoned to see like what the hell this thing actually is. Whether it is Silent Hill, I doubt it, but I do think we get a look into Abandoned. But again, my pie in the sky prediction that's totally not going to happen is that it gets revealed and that it's actually Silent Hill.
Okay.
huh.
I'm hoping for that too, honestly. Like I really like that'll just be super hype in my opinion. I'm not even a fan of Silent Hill, but that'll be really hype to kind of see that.
It would be so cool.
I
All
like
right.
it. I like it.
So
How
Macho.
about you, Macho?
All right, for my final prediction,
Drum roll.
it's gonna get a lot of really a certain set of fans very very happy. What we're gonna do is screen fades in. It's black.
You want me to close my eyes?
Yeah, no, you don't have to close your eyes. Just listen with your ears. Because all you need to hear is these two things. Capcom presents Marvel Comics. We get the revival for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and with Marvel vs. Capcom 5 in development currently.
Nice.
Damn.
Da-na-na-da-na-na-na. Marvel vs. Capcom is back. It's gonna be better than ever, and Capcom it's gonna be a thing, man. And of course, it's gonna tie into PlayStation's Evo announcement and acquisition as well. So it's definitely gonna be a big thing there. Yeah, please, Capcom. I want it.
To that point. I guess this is a bonus prediction, but I think it's totally plausible that we see Street Fighter 6 at this event. Yeah.
Possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Especially since with that last character being kind of like a Street Fighter 6 sort of teaser. That's what people are seeing it as. Yeah. Street Fighter 6 would probably be like a nice little teaser announcement, but man, I'm really hoping it's Marvel vs. Capcom.
Listen, man. As long as Chun-Li is in there, I'm happy.
Chun-Li will always be
happy
there,
to-
man.
Hey, man. As long as I
Thick
see her,
thighs
I'm
and
happy with
beautiful
your
eyes.
prediction.
That's how it always is.
Man.
May God save her. May God rest her soul.
What? She's not dead. What are you
Yeah, I
talking
was about
about?
to say she
She's
did.
never been alive.
I'm confused, Walt. Get your prediction out, man.
Yeah.
May God protect her always. Amen. Okay, so my final prediction is... So, I already went into the predictions that I hope are right, are like, they happen because they're my, unlikely but likely and whatever. This one, I'm going to do what y'all just did, okay? Close your eyes. Or, keep them open, whatever you want. It's... Imagine, you remember when Ultimate and Smash Ultimate, they did like the Inkling where she was looking at the symbol of Smash Ultimate. Imagine that type of darkness, right?
Oh, god damn it.
And
Yeah. Go ahead.
and you see a silhouette of someone pulling back an arrow and throwing it. There's no music or sound effects, just the hitting of weapons, and you see an arrow, and so you hear it deflect, and you hear a grappling hook throw into a tree and swing, and hear someone kick. And you're like, wait, someone fighting someone? You hear a roll, and you hear a catchphrase, and you're, wait, is that Ratchet talking? Wait, but he doesn't have an arrow. And you hear the Clank, and you hear Clank talking to him. You have to avoid this, or you have to dodge. Be careful, they're coming. And you hear fighting, and you know what's happening. You never get a reveal of the characters. You get glimpses. You know who the characters are. One of them was Aloy. One of them was Nathan Drake. One of them was Ratchet. You're like, what's happening? And then you get the title. All-Stars. PlayStation All-Stars.
And you know who's
And-
making it? You know who's making it? Arc Systems works. They're making it.
My dude. The reveal will be very odd, but when you see who's making it, you're like, hold on. And it's not. And here's the catch: it's not a 3D game. It's a Guilty Gear situation.
Okay, now we're talking.
It is a synergy. It is a synergy between 2D and 3D. It is a 2.5 kind of approach. It is a Dragon Ball Fighter.
Now you're speaking
kind of
my
thing.
language. A
get
tag team
designs.
PlayStation All Stars. I'm down
Bro,
with that.
Yeah,
you
like-
get a redesign of each character in their 2D, 3D glory, in their beauty, like how they did with Aloy and Genshin, but they'll have their own twist of Aloy. They'll have their own twist of.
I don't like how Aloy looks in Genshin.
You know,
She's like
she looks so weird.
She's like 80% legs, man. that was crazy.
Bro, hey man, Genshin.
It looks like
they
Teen
crazy.
Aloy. I'm not gonna lie. She looks like Teen Aloy.
Teen Aloy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she looks like she literally got isekai'd into an anime world and
Yeah.
like became younger. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a fighting a tag team. Possibly, there's gonna be the option of a Sony exclusive mascots from their beginning until now. And the reason why that's possible, it's because it's in the animated 2D, 3D form. That's why it's so possible, because all the characters won't feel jarring to see on a screen. They'll look just right for this fighting game.
So
And
let's actually like branch this off a little bit. Who is like the one? Because I actually really like that idea. I hope. I actually don't think that's like totally like implausible. Like I definitely can see them doing another crack at All Stars Battle Royale. No, no matter how much I laugh, I do think it's plausible one day. But
for sure.
so yeah, I do hope that they don't go in the route just trying to copy Smash, and they do actually do something more akin to Guilty Gear or BlazBlue. But okay, so give me your guys's, like, if there's one character from, like, obviously we know like the PlayStation Studios characters will be in this, but if there's one character from another franchise, like PlayStation associated franchise, that would make an appearance in this theoretical game, who would you want?
Oh, Cloud, 100%.
On it. Ooh.
Cloud, and if we're doing tag team and they really want to bolster like this roster, definitely put in Cloud, Sephiroth, and Tifa. Or actually, you know what? Scratch that. Go Cloud, Tifa. Well, Sephiroth that'd be really hard to pass up. But either way, I think putting Red 13 into that will be really freaking cool. Because no other fighting game that I know of that I played has had like a really cool dog character other than Amaterasu in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and she played like she was a boss, man. She was so cool. So to see that for Red 13, a fighting game like that'll be freaking dope.
Yeah.
For me, dude, not because it's Bloodborne, but imagine a tag team, not a tag team even, a awakening kind of thing, where if you play as a hunter, you have your hunter, right? And it's the signature on the cover, hunter with your serrated blade and your gun. But there's a mode that you can activate with this person, and you go beast, like with the claws that you get in the game. So you become like invigorated with blood, and you see him like, you see the animation of him transforming, and you just see the claws coming out and the fur getting all over his body, and he screams, and for a limited, like a few seconds, you have just, you're aggro as heck. And they're gonna choose iconic personalities of Bloodborne. So if we're going with 3, a hunter, we're gonna get Lady Maria, and we're gonna get Orphan of Kos, and he's gonna be wielding his placenta. He's gonna be wielding his placenta. God. That'll be his weapon, and bro, it'll be perfect because you have a monster boss, a human boss in a way, and then you have the protagonist, a hunter, which is essentially can be anyone, but they'll have their signature look, and that'll be the 3 from Bloodborne. You'll have an actual boss that can be integrated, because you can't put Cleric Beast. He'll have to be like Ridley in Smash, where he's just tiny, and that'll look weird. I don't know. Or hey, make it crazier. If you want all transformations, got the hunter transforms into a beast. Lady Maria goes into blood mode, where she stabs herself and she can like slash with all her blood coming out, and you take damage, but you deal more damage. And then you have Gurman, and his alternative mode, or no, if you're going Orphan of Kos, his alternative mode is when he sprouts the wings, so you're extra aggro, and that'll be the 3 characters from Bloodborne.
Interesting.
Now I want this game to happen. Now I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, like a fighting. Oh wait a minute, they could do Fighter C style animation.
Yeah, it would be sick, man. It really would be.
What about you, Jay? What's your pitch? Who do you see? Who do you want?
I want Gex, man, the gecko. I need him. I need him to make an appearance.
The insurance.
Yes, sir. That would be my main.
Is that his ultimate?
Yeah,
that'd be your main.
Yeah. But no, man. So obviously you got to get Joker in there, right? You got to get some Persona characters in there.
Absolutely. With Arsene.
But I don't know. I think
Nathaniel.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'd be satisfied with just someone like Jill Valentine, man. Just get her in there, man, and
And
I'd be happy.
the Tyrant. Would you want Mr. X in there?
Uh, I don't know. I feel like he would be. I mean, obviously that'd be hype, but I feel like he'd be boring to play as. I don't
Would
know.
yeah, yeah. You could have like the Tyrant, just the Tyrant, and do a Smash situation where you used to switch between Zelda and Sheik, but this time you switch between Mr. X, Nemesis, and like the same character. But
No,
it'd
no,
be different
Nemesis is
movesets.
actually a very fun character in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
He is.
He's awesome, especially with his bazooka.
His bazooka.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
Mr. X
he
would be a
definitely uses that. He's a lot
much
of
more
fun.
hands-on.
okay. I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
I got two more. You gotta get Cosmic Kiryu in there,
Ooh,
obviously,
beautiful,
and
beautiful.
then lastly, I want I want Lou from Death Stranding. You gotta get BB in there. You gotta get BB.
Oh man.
Hey, man.
You gotta get him, man. But it's like obviously,
Are you are you saying you want to punch some babies? Is that what you're trying to say, Jake?
hey man, is it what's his name? Fucking Ness in Smash like a child.
And
Oh,
Lucas.
obviously Nintendo's okay with it. Why can't I be?
What can I be?
But no. So obviously, Sam from Death Stranding, right? I mean, you can't
Interesting.
let Lou fight by himself, right? So you got to have Sam in there. But obviously, Sam's not gonna be the one doing the fighting. He's just gonna be holding Lou the entire time, and he just like whenever Lou needs to do an attack, he just like throws, he just throws him
Throws
at
the
the
baby?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like a boomerang, the baby comes back into his hands.
Oh, bro, that's wild. I love it.
Yeah,
Yo,
that's what it
yo,
is.
let's give each one. Just choose one, just to put it in, because we'll stay here all day with these predictions unless we have another topic. But uh, each one of us choose a character of the ones you pitched and pitch an ultimate move.
Oh, I have no
Oh,
idea.
with Cloud, that's easy. It's Omnislash, which is he has a Super Smash Brothers, but like it's such an iconic move for him. And obviously like the rest
Absolutely.
of his stuff.
That's where he makes
Tifo.
like three slashes, like in the middle. Like there's a symbol in the middle. Is that the Omni
No,
Slash?
that's Cross Slash. Omnislash
Cross
is
slash, gotcha.
is literally it's literally him like brushing up an enemy up into the air, and then his sword breaks apart like in Having Children, and they all just attack him or attack
Tight.
the enemy, and then he does one final slash downwards, and then you're good to go. That's it. You're
Love
done.
it.
Um,
Love it, love it.
Tifa with Seventh Heaven, and
Okay.
basically just like basically a god hand punch that she just completely annihilates you, and does what's that one move? Usually it's like it's in a lot of anime games where like they have this punch that they're just charging up and then they rush forward and then they leave you in the dust and then all of a sudden like a big explosion happens behind them. Yeah, that could be your Seventh Heaven punch. And then Red 13 with Cosmo Canyon basically howling into the Moon Knight and just doing a ton of damage down there and basically splitting the screen, cracking it, shattering into glass, and then does a bunch of damage. That'll be his
That's
ultimate.
what's up. That's
Mine,
what's up.
mine is simple. Just get the laser gun that finally put Nemesis buried him, buried that thing. Get the laser gun, and that's Jill's super. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Love it. Um, who should I do all three? Should I do? I'll do one. Uh, you know what? I'll do all three. The Hunter. Oh man, the Hunter is so flexible with so many weapons. Would there be a weapon that's considered like the ultimate weapon in the Hunter's arsenal? I don't know.
The Saw
But
Cleaver, wouldn't it? The one that's on the cover?
do you think? Essentially, so this will be his ultimate would be he does a Noctis situation like in the ending of Final Fantasy 15 where he has like a couple of weapons in store. He does like a hit with each one, but it's the transformed version. So if it's the Kirk hammer, you just see him put his sword in his hammer and just go to town and just bang, bang, bang. and he goes with the saw cleaver, transforms it, and you like this will be an M-rated game. So whenever he's slashing, you see like the not Mortal Kombat X-ray style, but you do see like bruises starting to form and whatnot. So essentially a barrage with the weapon that he would have in stock. Not that you can change weapons. With Maria, I feel like hers would be activated differently. So hers, you have to connect for it to. I mean, this is with all ultimates, but you have to. There's a smaller window to hit, because with her, you have to time it well, because she first pierces herself, and then there's like a delay, and then she slashes forward, and then when she brings her blood swords in front, that's when she does the, like in the actual boss battle, where she slashes you like a couple of times in the middle, and then she charges back up and devastates you with even more blood attacks. But it's a beautiful anime style. And, oh my, I need that Maria.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Orphan of Kos, he'll do a combination of his most dangerous moves, which will be the ball of flesh he throws, the thunder, and the jumping up on the air and slamming against you. So first, he'll throw the ball of flesh, incapacitating your senses. Then after that, the enemy will look forward and he's nowhere to be found. You just see Orphan of Kos like dodging and weaving like in super speed, and you just see thunder raining down on the enemy. And then he goes up, charges his placenta and he sprouts his wings, and he goes for an ultimate like attack on the ground. And when the attack ends, you know how sometimes they attack and like there's a line that's presented. When he hits, there's blood pouring from the sky like it's raining, and he's just looking at the moon, and he does a scream, because when you find him, he's just looking at the sea. So he's just looking at the moon, and he screams, and then you go back into battle. That'll be
the biggest flex for the hunter though would be to do his moves and then at the end of it break a blood vial at the end.
Ooh, I love it. And
that'd be the meanest flex.
Would it regenerate? Would it be the only character that actually regenerates health? Or
not regenerate?
Just...
No, it's just for show. Just for show.
For show. Okay, fair. But
yeah, it's like one of those things. Like I just flex on your ass, and then like
hell
boom,
yeah,
blood vial. Like really cool.
I do damage and then I heal myself. Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Man, good. I came out of this now wanting that to be the big thing of next week.
Good topic, man. So really quickly before we get out of here, let's touch on Death Stranding 2. Norman Reedus in an interview with IGN Brazil, I think he was talking about The Walking Dead, and then obviously Death Stranding came up, and he said specifically just like, hey, he thinks that negotiations are on for another Death Stranding, and then he was like, so yay. so yeah, do you guys think this is actually like a possibility that this would actually happen? I guess my biggest question is like, do you think Sony is actually interested in making another Death Stranding?
Man, it's so tough, man, because Death Stranding was so polarizing. Even if it was a game I really liked, but would I be excited for a Death Stranding 2? I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's where I'm at.
I would, out of pure curiosity, because they did such a bizarre thing with the first one. My thing is, where do they go next? And I didn't complete the game, so maybe people that completed it have an idea. Like you, Jay, you did complete the game. Do you see it having like a possible sequel, or just a completely different game?
No, I honestly don't. It to me, it always felt like one of those experiences that like is self-contained, right? Like specifically like Shadow of the Colossus, right? Like it's one of those titles to me that I don't imagine or know how you make another one.
Right.
Because that experience is so like I don't want to say like a one-time experience, but like I feel like for me it's one of those games that like I literally play once, I got what I got out of it, and I don't think I could ever play it again. So if a sequel was to come out, it would have to be something like drastically different for me to like even consider it, I think.
Do you think we see? I mean, if Norman's gonna talk with it, do you think we see Sam as a protagonist again, or someone else taking up that mantle?
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
I'm
in
actually
my
of the
mind,
opposite mind, actually.
really, you
Yeah,
don't see
but
Sam.
go ahead with what you're gonna say though. Well, and then I'll chime in.
What I'm gonna say honestly is that I I don't understand Sony's mentality when it comes to what they consider a successful game, because we've had this talk of they we don't know if they're out for the critically like acclaimed titles or the ones that produce the most revenue, because they've supported games that have done both. So in my mind, I don't know if the polarization that Death Stranding caused is something that they're looking for. Maybe it is. Uh, uh, if they go with it, honestly, I feel like they'll ask Kojima and the team just to cut back on a lot of things that they had that were very experimental. Because the game in and of itself, people called it. Oh, again, a lot of games can be just called walking simulators because that's essentially like half the games out. But this one literally felt, and for a lot of people, like just Amazon delivery, which I guess that's the whole point. It's about connecting and whatever the Strand mentality or whatever Kojima wanted to do.
Hey,
But
I
it
was
felt,
engaged, man. I was engaged.
I was engaged as well, but like it's the type of game that, again, it was polarizing because of that, because of the bizarre approach that Kojima went with. Now, in my mind, he will do the same, but he's perfected his experiment. He said he was experimenting. Now he has completed. He has enough data. Now he will refine the experience. That's my mentality with it. Were you going to say, Macho?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I, I said I
What
was
happened?
engaged, and then my fiance turned her head around the corner. She's like, "What? Like, you were engaged?" I was like, "No, engaged in the gameplay." She's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I get it. I thought she was side-eyeing you of like, oh, wait, no, you told me about that game and you actually hit it. But no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Damn.
No,
Damn much.
so yeah, no, I almost got in trouble real quick. No, I was gonna say that I think Death Stranding is gonna be what people aren't gonna think it's gonna be. It's gonna be something that it's gonna be the antithesis of what Death Stranding 1 is, and instead of being a game about connecting, it's gonna be a game about disconnecting, and where
So,
Sam
like,
is gonna
just stop playing.
But instead, you're probably gonna maybe you're on the other side. You're undoing Sam's work, or in essence, maybe in essence, you're trying to enhance Sam's work, but maybe he's the one trying to undo his work. I mean, he's the villain of Death Stranding too.
Oh, like a prototype situation, but inversed, where
Yeah,
the first prototype you play as like the quote unquote hero, but in the second one you have to defeat the protagonist of the first one.
yeah, or like a reverse Metal Gear Solid kind of 3 vibe, what was it? I think you played as what the old like big boss, right? And Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid 3 and 5, and then from Metal Gear Solid 1 and the one going in 4, I believe it's like you're playing as like Solid Snake or something like that.
Yep.
Based trying to do
Something
what
like
Big Boss does. So yeah, something along those lines where like you're instead going to try and do Sam's work or probably enhance it, but instead he's the one that's trying to dismantle what he's done because for whatever Kojima reason. So I think it's going to be a lot more.
I love it.
I think if that's the case, I think it's going to be a lot more. I think it's going to be more of a stealth game than Death Stranding 1, more in lines of Metal Gear Solid 1. Or not 1, but like
Okay.
what 5 was. So that's if they're going with a sequel, I hope it's something as radical and different as that to make people kind of like second guess what Death Stranding is going to be.
You know, it's gonna be such a demanding game, like hardware wise or software wise, that if it's gonna be about disconnecting, it's gonna make your controller disconnect a lot, and that's the whole point. Kind of like with Psycho Mantis, with all those glitches and stuff that happen in the screen, it's gonna be a game that's just gonna make you lose power. It's gonna turn off your PlayStation. Like Kojima's gonna show up on the screen and be like, "Ha, there's no game. I just got your $60."
And all right.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's probably gonna do it. Great podcast today, man. This was a really fun one. I honestly, out of 28 episodes, I think this was probably like my favorite. It was really fun, just doing the predictions with you guys. It was really fun.
Same.
Likewise, man.
We'll see. We'll see if we're really disappointed or very excited by
Yeah,
this time
yeah.
next week.
There's a part of me that's like, oh man, like I'm definitely way too hyped for this, right? Like my expectations are way too high, but at the same time, whatever. It's the nature of the game.
Yes, sir.
So yeah,
We'll either open up with applause or farts.
I'll deal with the consequences later. But yeah, man. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, man. We saw you guys in the chat. We really appreciate that and engaging
Sure.
with the conversation and whatnot. We really enjoy that. So yeah, we're gonna get started with these outros and then get out of here. Macho, why don't you start things off for us, man?
Yeah, man. Thank you for everybody coming to the podcast. I'm just looking at the comments now, and people are just going back and forth, and um, it's heartening, man. Like seriously, to see the like bar kind of go up too is really cool too. You know, again, thank you. Again, it was a very hard beginning of the weekend to kind of come on the Saturday and share some positive vibes with my PS Bros here, and for people to jump in. It's really cool, man. Thank you. And as far as this weekend, just gonna straight up be into Final Fantasy 14 and probably more Great Ace Attorney, and just really on the wait and see for Tales of Arise, and maybe jump back into Last of Us 2. Depends how I feel. Yeah, we'll see about that. But man, yeah, I'm excited for like a fun weekend in gaming, just a chill weekend, and then enjoy your Labor Day weekend too, guys. Stay safe out there.
For sure, for sure. Walt, what about you, man?
Hey, man, I gotta also express my love. I love the engagement. I also just pulled up the chat and I love it. It is nice. It's a whole conversation and I love it. It's just we're having fun. We're being passionate about the things we love and just it like Jay mentioned, it's the name of the game. We get excited, we get disappointed. That is just the game of life. It just be how it be. I greatly appreciate everyone that stopped by and uh, with the recent spikes and the recent situations that have been going on health wise in the world. I do ask of everyone to be safe as well and to always gotta say always wear your mask, drink your water, get your distance, and just follow protocol and do your thing to support the common cause and just about your fellow human beings because we're all in this together, man. Now when it comes to video games, more on that simping with Catherine and more on that man, I haven't gotten around to that because again life. Chrono Trigger. At some point, I'm gonna put the hours in. Bro,
playing this game, bro.
Look, dude. It's always the same thing. I'm like, okay, I'm playing it. I start playing it, and I'm like, oh man, why? I remember. I remembered. I have this to do, and like I start remembering shit that I have to do, and I'm like, God damn it, no, I want to keep playing. I'll get to it, but yeah, man, more gaming, more Catherine, more chilling, more manga, more reading, more discovering of new gems. I'll be reading some. Oh, these are the ones I'm reading, so y'all know in case you want to check them out. From the creator of Chainsaw Man, it's called Fire Punch. It is an intense, dark fantasy kind of, or science fiction, whatever you want to call it, survival kind of manga where there's essentially an ice age and you have people have gone mad and they're trying their best to survive, but they resort to the most maddening things. It's a fantastic read. It's bizarre as hell, like Chainsaw Man. So I do warn you in that regard. In regards to other things that I've been reading, I've also been reading Platinum Man, as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, as well as a manga that just released a couple of days ago, and this is the title. It is called Dan Da Dan, and it is a fantastic, very science fiction heavy manga that I do bid you to check out on the Viz Media page or the Shonen Jump app. But other than that, not much else. Do look out Level 1 Gaming, maybe there's more manga titles if you're interested in manga coming out. So go check out. The handle is down in the description. Stay safe, drink your water, wear your masks, and don't be an asshole.
Yes, sir. As for me, same old, same old. Gonna try to finish up Leon's campaign in RE2. And that's pretty much about it. Just probably gonna be also just dabbling in Dragon's Dogma, and then after that, just waiting for this PlayStation event to come. Man, I'm really excited for it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Same old, same old. Yeah, again, thank you guys for tuning in. Whether you guys were live or are watching after the fact, we always appreciate it. And yeah, we will catch you guys in the next podcast where we get to see whether our predictions were right or if they were wrong, which, let's be honest, they were probably wrong. So we'll...
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
We'll see you guys then. Peace out.